Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. This is first of those series that we are starting, which is on managing different areas like managing projects, managing time, managing risk, managing future, anything that we learn in at a later stage. There is obviously a school version of that, and there is a KG version of that. And project-based learning is one of the acknowledged methodologies in teaching, and the purpose is that the children learn that things are done with limited resources, with limited time, with a purpose, and all that. So, with a background knowledge of project management from a lot of international frameworks like PMI, US, and Prince. In EU and projects and development areas, so I had some idea, and I have been running a professional development center as well, particularly the project management portfolio. And but I want to share something interesting that our core prayer, Salat, within that the core part is Surah Fatiha. Surah Fatiha has a very interesting framework as well. So we are just looking at from a very limited one perspective and dimension, but I thought it's worth sharing that. So this is Surah Fatiha. And it's very simple. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Starts with Alhamdulillah and ends at Waladhdallin. And now let's go step by step into it. So that's how it begins. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, which we always start whenever we start any surah ours, and Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Now there are two very interesting things in it. One, first of all, we're looking toward the sponsor who is sponsoring, who will provide support to the project, right? And secondly, one of the sponsors' role comes in the very beginning is provide enabling environment to avoid a major stumbling block, which might come in the project way, right? To seek for that. So seek for those threats which are likely to come in the way. Okay. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Now, the word hamd we use for one, glorifications, but shukr. Shukr is, what is the technical meaning of shukr? There are always two kinds of meaning. The meaning in technical sense and meaning in the general parlance. The meaning of shukr, I resorted to Minhajul Qajizdin by Imam Abdul Rahman ibn Jawzi. This book is very authentic in Islamic literature, and the other one is Ahya al-Ulum by Imam Ghazali. Now, very interesting. I took it from Ibn Jawzi. शुक्र का मतलब ये है अल्लाह की नेमतों को उसकी पसंदीदा चीजों में इस्तेमाल किया जाए. Means employing the resources for what they are best meant. No, that's very important. That if I am given a time or I am given a faculty, for example, I give 100 rupees to a child and he just goes and buy Coke, the dirty one, and comes back. She has not used that 100 rupees wisely. So another child might go and buy some ice cream and save some money. So he has done it better, right? So this is the meaning of shukr. Are we using our faculties and resources given to us for the project? Life is a project, right? For the purpose. That is one. And the second part is Rabbil Alameen. One part of Rabb, the Rabb word has a common with the tarbiyat, the training, the nourishment. The very important is we venture into something, anything new. We must equip ourselves. Do we have those knowledge and skill and attitude or competencies to do that? It's a very interesting part of it. And whether what we are initiating, is it meant for the purpose? Is it going to lead to prosperity? So these things come from Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Then it goes further to Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, means continuous support. Allah's mercy again and again and deep, right? So that sort of support is required for these initiatives. And next is very important. Malik Yawmiddin. What is the most important day in our life? or in the project's life? When it is going to be evaluated, when it's going to be judged. What is the success criteria at the end of the project? What are stakeholders going to get, or what am I going to get? That's very important. It's a sort of evaluation and a success which has to be defined very clearly. If I'm making school, success criteria is not making a school. Success criteria is what sort of human beings come out. If I am making a judiciary system or a court system, purpose is how well justice will be dispensed, right? Uh, for any of that thing, what is the success criteria? How things will look like? What prosperity it will bring in? Instead of getting stuck with the means, what are the ends I'm going to achieve? So that's a Malik al-Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. Now, to do that, we need inputs and we need resources. For those, we have to go to the, again, sponsor, that we need resources. And the biggest thing we are asking from the sponsor is, Idna Sirat al-Mustaqim, show us the right path, the direction. Now, here is another very important lesson. That is, it's not saying show me the right path, or it is show us the right path. That is the philosophy, that things are not done as such by individuals. It's about teams. You are a part of a team and ask for the team. So that's what projects essentially are. Sponsor sponsors the team. And two very important things come about so far about the sponsor's role. The very initial, Auzu Billah, means sponsor's role is to remove the stumbling blocks, and sponsor's role is to give a strategic direction into it. So that's what it is. Next is Sirat al-Lazina an'amta alayhim. There were projects that were earlier done. Life is not a rehearsal. You can't do it for a play, right? So, but people were successful. Stories, you have success stories to learn from. Have you audited those things? Have you learned from those stories? What were the success factors that worked for them? And if it resembles your situation, can you learn from them? And how knowledge management comes into this venture so that you do not make the same, you create the same enabling environment which had some causational relationship in the previous success stories. And next it says things that might go wrong, the negative risks. غير المغضوب عليهم. People did and people went astray, or people were not in the right direction, whatever. Have you learned from them? So this is where that's the interesting thing, is that how we mature into the projects and avoid our mistakes by learning from previous mistakes. It's not about doing this project successfully. It's about learning from the previous projects and create a legacy from which the next projects learn. So this is very interesting. Now let's wrap up. The core of this is, obviously we know the core is Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. This itself is very comprehensive in the sense that all that direction, Ihdina Sirat, show us, support us. It's the team attitude. We need to learn. We need to learn. Show us the right path, the learning attitude, and continuous support. As we say in the projects, the phase gate reviews and kill points and adjusting it and continuously looking at from the changing landscapes. And very important, the role of the sponsor is to remove the stumbling block and to show the direction and with this sort of sport. I found it very interesting, but it's of course it's a very only one dimension to look at it. Surah Fatiha is also called Surah Shifa, which is about cleansing our emotional issues. It's the philosophy of the entire, it's the pinnacle of the philosophy of the Quran itself. But we are looking at just from a one dimension, and not that we have to limit this in our frameworks, but there are very interesting lessons just in this surah. The more we read, the more depth we attain. Thank you very much. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك.